In the last video, we talked about light, and as magnificent as it is, we have to move forward with some other interesting topics, something that leans on to what we talked about previously, and it's called RGB and CMYK. What the heck is that? It's basically color modes or color systems that we use in technology and design to represent colors on different mediums. You have to understand that there's two different types of mediums that we're going to talk about today. The one is the paper, the simple A4 or US letter paper that you use every day. And the second one is screen on your laptop, on your TV, on your whatever phone. So imagine these two. The one is black, the screen is black. The paper is white. And that's going to be the essence of what we're going to talk about today. When you want to show colors on screen, you turn on pixels, right? You turn them on and they light up and they shine and they present color, right? But when you want to show color on the paper, you try to mud it down. You paint on it. You paint on the white paper. You add colors to try to tone it down because white's too shiny, right? So then you add red, and that's the essence of these two systems. One's additive and one's subtractive. The additive one, of course, is the screen's one, and it's called RGB, standing for red, green, blue. The subtractive one is the CMYK one, I know, strange name, but cyan, magenta, yellow, and key meaning black. Think about it that way. So there's yin yang basically, right? There's RGB and CMYK. There's screen, there's paper. There's additive, you add to get white. You turn on all the pixels, all the subpixels, all the colors to get white. You take your colors and mix them all up to get black. So here on the black screen, how you get white is by, using all your powers, and how you get black on the white paper is also using all your powers. So that's why these are called additive and subtractive, because here you have to add in order to get the white, right? And here you have to take away from that whiteness of the paper to get black, right? So you have to subtract it, you have to remove the whiteness. When you now compare these two and you ask me, okay, so what's the difference in real life? In real life, the difference is that everything you're going to design in RGB is going to be mud down when you print it out. So CMYK has less colors in its color gamut. So there's less colors, so you have to think about it. So that's why when you start designing for screen and you think, oh wow, this is such an eccentric, great neon color, and you print it out, it looks before printing something out. You have to think, is it optimized for printing, right? Now that we mentioned color gamuts, it's important to note that today there's P3 color gamut that's visible on Retina displays on Apple devices. There's Adobe RGB that has more greens and reds than the sRGB. sRGB is the standard RGB. It's the one that we're looking at on all the screens, right? The important thing to know is that when you look at these charts online, and it's called color gamut, right? And when you look at them, what you're gonna notice is the spectrum of visible light in the background, and that's how they represent all the colors we see, right? And we also have rods and cones in our eyes, so we also have a system of like pixels and subpixels, right? Almost. Where we also identify red, green, and blue. And that's why the screens are this way. That's why there's RGB. That's why there's red, green, blue, because it mimics what humans need in order to perceive color. It's nothing more than that. And now, because designers are so picky about the colors, when you print something on your printer, it turns out different than on the printer of your friend, than the printer of the company that you work for, than the printer. And then they sat down and said, wait, we have to solve this madness. And that's how the Pantone came to be. So that's a company having these palettes of color and codes and, A350 or A. So there's different codes for different colors. And when you actually reference Pantone number, that color is actually going to look the same whenever Pantone prints it, either in Europe, either in US, either, you know, that's how they try to consistently represent the color, because if the color of the logo is, you know, P160, if that even exists, it's always going to be that. But it's going to look different on your printer and my printer, because I have inkjet one, you have laser one, it's different brand, it's different. So they tried to unify this, and there's now palettes that you can buy, and you can reference different colors. There's even converters online from CMYK to Pantone, from RGB to Pantone. And if we are to summarize now, there's RGB for screens, there's CMYK for print, red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, and key. And yeah, I forgot to explain the key part. So when you mix up cyan, magenta, and yellow, you get kind of brownish color, almost black, but it's not black. So in order to achieve better black, true black color, they actually added the fourth one, the key. So that's the black ink, you know, that just pumps the black ink, so it has more contrast and it's nicer looking. So that's the reason why. And yeah, so we basically summarize what the RGB is, what the CMYK is. One is additive, one is subtractive, and you now know the basics of the colors in design. You're welcome. See you in another video. Thanks for watching.